This is Don't Panic, episode number 179, recorded October 16th, 2017. Now, with more context. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast that, in a world where tech news is a bale of hay, we're the needle you'll find in it. I'm Sean Jennings. They're Colby Rabideau and Dan Miller, and we're here to talk tech and associated nonsense. Gentlemen, what's going on? What's a good word?
It's cold.
What's going down in the Miller Rabideau Townshipville city?
Townshipville city?
Yes, it's catchy.
Today was chilly. Today begins the it's like the transition period where you have to readjust to it being colder. Like I walked out of work this afternoon, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not prepared." And for like 10 minutes of my walk home, I was cold. But I think I got used to it.
Yeah, being in the South last winter made me forget all about the concept of layering.
Yeah, Sean. So I have a story about being away from winter and then coming back to it, which is super embarrassing.
Yes.
I feel like I've told you this before, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. When I went to California, I lived there for like a year and some months. So I missed a winter. And in that time, I got these dumb shoes that had no treads on the bottom. It was completely flat, completely slick on the bottom. It was totally fine all the time because I lived in California and it didn't even rain there. And I came back, and the first snowstorm of the season, I had gone out. It wasn't even a snowstorm. It snowed like 1 inch. I'd gone out to a movie, and while I was in the movie, it had snowed some, like 1 inch, not a lot. And I came out of the movie, and I entered a light run in order to catch the bus. I was almost at the bus, and I slipped and fell right on my butt because my shoes had no treads. I managed to get up and like run to the bus, at which point the driver closed the door in my face.
Oh,
which was
to teach you a lesson.
Right. No, it was okay though, because he did open it. But the icing on the cake, literally, was that when I got to my destination and got off the bus, I once again slipped and fell right on my butt. And I've never been so ashamed in my life. I didn't think I had been gone for that long, but I forgot how to winter, and it felt terrible. But I threw away those shoes. Yeah, I don't wear them anymore.
No, now you're really prepared. You live in Boston. You know better.
No, now I have boots. I have winter boots. I think I picked them on the show before. I have like real bona fide winter boots, which is a whole other thing that I didn't know. I mean, I guess I knew one could have, but it's pretty great. They're waterproof and they're quite warm. But anyways, I wish you the best of luck, Sean.
Oh, I don't know how I'll make it, but gosh darn it, I have to pull all my sweaters out of storage and make sure I still have them. They still fit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough life.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off.
No.
Here's what's happening in Dan's side of the Miller Rabideau Township.
The incorporated village.
Did I tell any part of this story?
It's a
on
distributed
the show
township.
Before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So in July, I bought myself a Windows PC. I wanted to buy one pre-built because I thought that I had, grown past building my own computer. I didn't want it to deal with it. I wanted it to be super fast and to all work together and be able to play some really cool games on it. So I did some research. I also wanted it to be small, which was the other reason I didn't build it, because building a giant, full ATX computer is easy. Building a tiny one where all the components are super tight together and like the thermal profile is weird is hard. And I have an apartment in New York, so I want it to be small. So I did a bunch of research and I bought the Corsair One. And it took a while for it to actually be shipped because I they had just released a new revision with like a better CPU and a better graphics card. So it took like a couple weeks for it to come in stock, and then they shipped it to me, and I got it, and I plugged it into my TV because I didn't really have a monitor to use it with, but I thought, oh, it's fine. I can just, use a Steam controller and play on the TV. And I got it, and I did that thing where you turn a Windows computer and I was like, hey, do you want to install like the Windows updates before you really get started? And I was like, absolutely, because security on Windows is a nightmare. So I did that. And it's like, hey, just so you know, the computer's going to restart a couple times. Don't be alarmed. I was like, cool, won't be alarmed. I was alarmed when after an hour, the screen was still just black. It had restarted it, and the video had never come back. So I, regretfully, nervously, just hard rebooted it. And it seemed to be okay. And it started up, and I installed some stuff. And then, like, I left, the computer went to sleep, I came back. It wouldn't turn back on. I restarted it, came back on, blah, 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 Anyways, eventually it got to the point where no matter what I did, the computer would not turn on. No BIOS, nothing, no video. I mean, the computer would turn on, there'd be no video. So I go online, it turns out that there's a widespread problem with these new units, and there's like a recall, so I have to do this RMA process. I'm on the phone for days, like almost an entire workday over the course of 3 days trying to get this figured out, and even once I get the RMA instructions, they're super unclear. I have to email this Chinese email address to schedule a pickup, but of course I didn't because they gave me a UPS label, so I just used that, sent it. They very promptly sent me a new one. Great, plugged it in, video turns on, everything's awesome, get everything set up. Things were good for a while longer, a couple hours longer than they were before, and then I was playing a game, and the sound just went like, and then purple screen. Power off. That was weird. Turned it back on. It was fine. Went a couple days. No problems. Same thing. Green screen.
See, I thought
That's strange.
I thought you were quickly becoming the world's newest electronic music DJ.
That's what it would sound like. And so over the past couple of days, I've dived into Windows internals to try to figure out what the heck is going on. And it's just the NVIDIA driver, and the error code is hardware error, live kernel event 141. Nothing I can do about it. As far as I can tell, the computer is just broken. It's just a bad computer. Again. So now I'm going to have to go through this whole rigmarole with their customer support that only operates in Pacific time hours and sends you to the answering machine if the queue is too full, but never ever calls you back, so you have to just keep calling over and over again and hope that you get lucky. And I'm upset. What should I do?
Well, where did you buy it from?
Corsair.com.
Because I was going to say, if you bought it from like Amazon or Newegg or somebody, just return it through them. But you're kind of stuck if you bought it through Corsair. Yeah, if it's... in my Windows experience, if it's a software problem...
that was the other thing. So today, what I did tonight was I was like, okay, let's just reinstall Windows. Like, maybe that'll fix it. You can't reinstall Windows. Well, you can. There's the recovery partition on there. So I was like, great, I don't have to have a CD, which is good because I don't have a CD drive. I don't need to like make a USB boot thing. You just, go press F8 on start, and you go, through the really much nicer than there ever has been troubleshooting startup thing, and one of the options is reset Windows. Click that. It's like, cool, getting ready. There was a problem resetting Windows. No changes were made. And I did all this stuff in the command line to try to fix that. None of it worked. I tried to make a bootable USB drive from the recovery partition. That didn't work with an unexplainable error.
No. No, what you have to do is you create the bootable USB, but you have to create it from a fresh Windows boot image, and you can get those online from fresh, and then you have to boot it from the BIOS off of the flash drive,
But I was told that I could make this from the recovery partition.
But if the recovery partition is screwed up, which it sounds like that's the problem, then that's not going to work. You want to go totally fresh. And then what you want to do before you do that is on a different computer, download every driver ahead of time, usually from the manufacturer, not from Corsair. So if it's the NVIDIA, whatever, graphics chip, get that from NVIDIA. Figure out what you need the drivers for. Preload those onto either the same or a separate flash drive. And then boot from there, reinstall a fresh installation of Windows, completely wipe the hard drive, fresh Windows from scratch, do all of that, and then individually load the drivers. And I have had to do that. I don't have enough fingers to count the number of times I've had to do that on Windows computers. But you have to start from fresh.
This sounds like a lot of work.
After the 10th time, it's actually pretty easy. The first time, it's a giant hassle. But it's usually, the slow part is installing all the drivers and the software back in. Getting Windows up and running usually takes 2 or 3 hours. It kind of runs itself.
What do I download? Windows 10 Creators Update or Windows 10 Anniversary Update?
Anniversary. Creators just came out. I would go with Anniversary and then let Windows Update actually push you into Creators.
What is Windows 10 and what is Windows 10N?
All right, now you're just making shit up. That's not even a thing. Stop that.
No, this is Microsoft.com.
That's not. No, I've never heard of Microsoft Windows 10N. I've never heard of that. Is this the problem, Dan? Are you loading like off-brand, knockoff, generic versions of Microsoft of Windows? It's like Windows with a Z. I don't know what this is.
I sure hope not. So, I guess I'll try that. If that works, then cool. We're golden. If that doesn't work, should I RMA it again? Should I get a different Windows computer pre-built? Should I build my own Windows computer, or should I buy an iMac?
Well, my opinion would be I would return the thing.
Well, obviously, yes. I'm not going to keep a useless computer.
But I wouldn't even try to fix it. I would just say, I want my money back. Fuck it. It's not worth it. Then I would, if you had the space, I would say build your own PC. It's really easy and much more cost effective to do it that way. It really is. If you can get the big fucking tower somewhere in your house.
I mean, I could. It would be fine.
And you can get smaller cases, but I understand where you're coming from. You don't want to use the space. In that case, yeah, I just get an iMac.
Did you see the pun you did there? Have you seen the Corsair one? It looks so cool.
Oh, it's sexy. So I had it up on the screen for the folks at home. That thing is sexy. Oh man.
No.
The PC you build will not be that good looking. I'm confident in that, but it'll also work.
And I'm certainly not going to be doing any water cooling bullshit.
No,
if I build my own computer.
No, but you don't.
Whereas if I buy one, they can do that for me.
No, but what I'm saying is you don't need water cooling. You don't need most of the stuff. I think I picked here on the show, was it PC Part Picker, which is a fantastic website, and they walk you through all the parts. You don't need all this extra crap. You know, you don't need all the neon lights and the kind of crazy.
I don't want any neon lights.
You just need the basic parts, and it's I live streamed building my own computer. It took like 2-3 hours. It was pretty easy, and I don't know shit.
One of my coworkers purchased a very expensive graphics card on Amazon, and by some mistake they sent him 2.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so
and legally, I think you get to keep that.
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember if he decided to use both graphics cards in his computer or if he decided to like return one to Amazon. But either way, that was pretty cool. That could happen to you.
I was impressed when I got mine because it came with a cable. You use a special cable to connect the 2 graphics cards, and I'm like, whoa! Like, because I bought like a pretty good graphics card, and I'm like, but 2 of them? Like, like my thing had like jet fans attached to it. It was crazy, and I'm like, but 2 of them? It was definitely overkill.
Imagine all the graphics.
So many graphics. But this is why Dan, I'm pushing you to do this for when this show goes to 4K. You're gonna need the graphics power.
Right.
If I had a better graphics card, do you think Skype would use less CPU on my computer?
I feel confident that's
wishful
a Skype
thinking.
problem. Yeah. Yeah. It'll just be less noticeable.
I see.
Yeah. I don't know, Colby. What should Dan do about his computer?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever wanted to buy a Windows computer or build a Windows computer. Well, that's not true. Ever is the incorrect word. There was a time when I would have been interested.
When Colby was young and reckless, he wanted to build a Windows computer.
When I was young and naive, I think, before I'd seen the light of computers that actually just work most, if not all of the time. Yeah, I don't know. So I think you should get an iMac.
It's tempting. I could get an iMac Pro. I wouldn't get an iMac Pro.
You're not a pro.
No.
It is space gray.
That is true, but I don't think it actually has the kind of graphics card that I would want.
Oh. Wait, is this thing specifically to play games?
Yes. I mean, yes. And, I left out the part where I thought maybe it was the connection to the TV, so I bought a monitor. Right. So in order to big myself out of this hole, I have to return the computer and sell the monitor. Unless I build my own.
You can't return the monitor too?
Well, I bought that on Amazon, so maybe. I think it's out of the 30 days though at this point because the RMA is taking so freaking long.
Well, I do want to mention super fan of the show and new tote bag owner Zachary Friss on Facebook comments. And he says two things. He says, RGB is my life. My case flashes all the pretty lights pointlessly. So, Dan, you could go in that direction, Some go understated,
the only
some go
place
bold.
that this computer will go is right next to my bed.
Oh, man, dude, it's the rave room.
Now, as a person who slept for 1 year next to someone's custom-built computer case with LED lights, you can learn to sleep through it.
But I don't have to learn to sleep through it. This is what my life is. It's all about what do I have to do and what do I not have to do. And at this particular juncture, I do not have to learn to sleep with blinking crazy LEDs in my bedroom, and I won't learn to.
Aw. I like it. And Zach, by the way, with our Skype comment, he says, you guys should try out Discord for video chat. I hear it's pretty good. I thought that was still in beta. But if I hear that that's out for public use, we're just looking for anything.
I haven't used it for video chat, but the video game people use it, and it seems to work pretty well.
It's very popular. I just want something that will work on Matt's zillion-year-old plastic white MacBook. So if Discord works on that, we'll take it. With that, we, I think, are going to move on to the tech news of the week. Dan, I'm sure you'll keep us updated as your life spirals into an never-ending despair circle.
You know I will.
Thank you. But we're going to move on. We're going to do the tech news portion of the show where we talk about the week's tech news. We've got a rundown. Had a lot of news this week. It was a pretty good news week as far as things are concerned. The rundown is feeling full and hefty. And we've got some good stuff in here. Netflix, Facebook, Oculus, Apple, Snapchat, Google, all the big hitters. Guys, is there any story in here that's worth our time?
So I saw all of these stories except the Wi-Fi thing.
Oh, that was today. That was the hot one today. And oh boy, as always, when Don't Panic gets into a technical story, we are not going to understand how it works, but we're going to try. So it came out today that Wi-Fi is no longer secure. Was the terror headline your local news will tell you about. But this is Don't Panic, so we're going to explain to you what it really means. So apparently WPA2 security protocol, which makes sure your computer's talking to your router and nothing in between, and that they handshake and they say, okay, we agree, we're both safe. Thank you very much, sir. Apparently, an exploit called Crack takes advantage of vulnerabilities in WPA2, and this applies to basically every Wi-Fi device on the planet. WPA2 is the standard everywhere. It's really not great. I don't understand the exact technical nature of it, but here's what I can tell you. This is the part the average Joe needs to know, is that the good news is you have to physically be at the point of this is not a remote hack. So like if I wanted to hack into Colby's computer using this vulnerability, I would have to physically be within Wi-Fi range of his router and computer to do this. So this isn't a remote thing. You're essentially just kind of getting in between him and his computer, even though both will think it's securely connected via WPA2. And you could use that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you can connect to my Wi-Fi router from like outside on the street.
Yeah.
By my
and that's a fair point. I mean, someone could sit outside, but it takes time and equipment to set up. And they can only eavesdrop, of course, on unencrypted traffic. If it's HTTPS, it is encrypted. Or it could slip malware into your computer by posing as a legitimate website, but they'd have to be within Wi-Fi range. So, that's the upside. Your average person probably is not going to get hacked using this. The bad news is this does affect nearly every device on the planet. That's not a joke. Windows is currently deploying Microsoft deploying a Windows patch currently. Apple says a patch is currently in the beta versions of iOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS, with it going public in the coming weeks. Apparently, I saw a quote in here that 41% of all Android devices are vulnerable to one of the more extreme versions. So there's variants. Some devices are more roughly affected than others. 41% of all Android devices are on the extreme end of that scale where they're very vulnerable, and those might be difficult to upgrade, as we know for Android.
So this is a thing that affects like client devices, if that makes sense. So it's not like the routers don't need to be patched necessarily, like my computers need to be patched.
Both need to be patched.
Oh, both.
Everything needs to be patched.
Okay.
If it supports WPA2, yes. Everything from your smart TVs and your smart refrigerators. Although I don't know how many of them support this. I would assume nearly all.
Well, that sounds bad.
A very
now.
Very
what is
analysis.
the word? They can eavesdrop on your traffic, right?
Or it was suggested, again, we haven't seen anyone actually use this in the wild, but it has been suggested that they could pose as a legitimate website and slip in malware or ransomware.
Yeah.
In that respect. But that's pretty much the only...
It's my
like the ISPs do.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Except a little more illegal. Only a little, though.
But it's my understanding that this does not affect sites secured with SSL because it would fail the verification check,
Correct.
which all websites should be using SSL.
Correct.
Don'tPanic.io does.
But how are we going to steal people's valuable information? Damn it, we didn't think that through.
No, we really didn't.
Yeah, man.
Sitting on a gold mine. You just threw it away.
Shame on us. So it's really the bad part of this isn't how the hack works necessarily. It's just the scale to which everything is affected and how much it is on hardware and software manufacturers to patch these devices in a timely and uniform manner. I mean, I don't know the last time my router got a software update. I don't know last time my smart light bulbs got a software. Actually, I do know. Actually, they get updated rather frequently. But that's not the point. The point is they got to fix the stuff. It's bad news. The good news is the big guys, Microsoft, Apple, seem to be on the ball in getting these upgrades pushed. So,
great. Well, I guess the takeaway here is to keep an eye out for those security updates.
Yes, make sure your devices are always up to date. That's very important, especially with an issue like this. Turn automatic updates on and make sure that you have the latest version of your OS installed. Good tip. I think we can successfully tell people to not panic on this one?
Yeah, don't panic. Again, but I would be even more careful now than you already should have been using non-SSL sites for not only using them for anything important, but trusting them for anything important.
Yep. Very true. Very
Especially if you live in a place where people can easily connect to your Wi-Fi.
Yes, I would say yes, like where you guys live.
That's right.
We're
screwed.
Although Colby, this does give me a good idea because you live near a somewhat busy intersection, busy area. You should sell access to your Wi-Fi.
Just have an open network that I.
Well, no,
I.
You put up the splash screen, and they have to accept the terms and conditions, and then you steal all their information and sell it to ad companies. It's genius. That's what the airport does. Oh. That's why the Wi-Fi's free there.
Is it?
Yeah, you never read the terms of service when you agree to their free internet access?
Of course I didn't.
Oh, of course. That's why you got to use secure websites, so they can't get away with that.
Or a VPN.
But anyhow, there we go. We'll keep an eye on that story as it develops. That just broke earlier today, so if there's anything new on that, we'll have it next week. But we'll continue on, gentlemen.
What's next?
What is next? I love that. That's a great question. We can talk about the new Oculus headsets, Disney's new movie service, Snapchat's context cards. What's anything?
Now, I mean, we should talk about the Oculus thing.
Okay, let's talk about that. I love that answer. Good, Colby. Facebook.
Good, Colby.
And Oculus. Good, yay. Feels good. Oculus announced a series of new devices this past week. We'll start at the highest end. The original Oculus Rift will continue to be available. They're dropping the price $399 for the Oculus Rift. Of course, that's the version that you have to plug into your computer. So it requires a full PC to run. It used to be $499, so that's a nice drop there, bringing down the price a little bit. They announced a lower, cheaper version for $199. The Oculus Go will ship early next year. It enables VR use without plugging in a phone or computer. It's all built right in. It doesn't have inside-out tracking or fully tracked motion controllers. That's kind of what makes the expensive version more expensive. It's comparable a little bit more to the Samsung Gear VR, except you don't have to strap your phone into it. Those parts come included. It's got new lenses, a 2560 by 1440 screen, and spatial audio built into the headset, which can be used without headphones. It uses a controller similar to the Gear VR, so developers are supposed to be able to easily build out for the Oculus Go and the Gear VR at the same time. Developers will start getting Oculus Go development kits in November. On top of that, they also announced the Santa Cruz headset design. So they didn't actually announce you can buy this yet. But this sort of is a middle ground between the Go and the Rift. It's designed to be a headset that doesn't need to be tethered to a PC, nor tracked by external cameras, but still has all of the detailed functionality you get in the full Rift. It has new controllers that will work in tandem with sensors on the face of the Santa Cruz headset to aid in what is known as inside-out tracking. The developer version will start shipping in 2018. No word on when consumers will actually get it, but it's expected the price point for that will fall somewhere between the Rift and the Go.
Mm-hmm. So, like, with the untethered thing, how does it? What if you like walk into stuff?
That's
like if you're. I don't know. I haven't really. I mean, I used an Oculus once, like the first dev kit Oculus, but like you were connected to things, and I don't know. I feel like if you're completely disconnected, like it is pretty like surreal being in there. Like you sort of lose all your context of the room around you. I would be worried that I would like.
You need a tether, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I would hit stuff. Using like a Wii bowling. Oh my god, I hit so many things that I didn't mean to hit, like whipping that controller around. I can't imagine what it'd be like if you couldn't see and you're using these things to like wave your arms around.
I like to imagine Colby on one of those like the leashes they have for children, so they don't run away from their parents. And Colby is just, no, Colby, too far, bring it back. No, but like, and I've never really used VR for any length of time, so maybe I'm not a good customer, but it's like, having a cable running out of the back of it really tethering you, other than it's going to yank your head back when you go too far. I just think VR in any situation, you have to just be aware of your surroundings and or have a VR buddy who tells you you've gone too far. I think that's kind of I'm assuming that's the push behind developing these really detailed controllers, is so you don't have to physically move to enjoy the VR.
I guess that makes sense.
And how does this new one, how is it standalone? Does it have like apps installed on it? Does it communicate wirelessly with a computer? Did they mention that? I looked in the article. I didn't see.
Yeah, how I understand it, and I'd love to be corrected if I'm wrong, is that it will not require a PC, but it also won't wirelessly require a PC. It'll all be built in. That is the idea, including the sensors built into the headset itself, and the controllers working in tandem.
Okay.
I mean, Dan, I can sense your enthusiasm all the way over here.
Well, I just can't imagine that the graphics power of it will be all that impressive. If it's all built into the headphone jack. What am I saying? I'm back in Apple mode. Into the headset. Oh, no. That I started saying head, and I knew I was talking about hardware, and then my mind just said headphone jack.
Oh no.
I'm gonna choose to be optimistic on that one. And I've been Mr. like anti-VR on this show for the past couple years as we keep talking about this, but I was using my new iPhone 8 with some of the AR apps, which I know is a little different, but nonetheless, I mean, you're rendering motion-tracked graphics in real time. And the quality is really incredible. Like, it's really it's shockingly good for a phone and for a mobile device. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, if they can get most of the way to this in VR, okay, I'm starting to buy it. It's starting to click. I mean, you're not talking photorealistic graphics here, but for games and for things that aren't meant to be like, as good as like a PS3, PS4 level graphics, like that's still pretty good for an untethered, reasonably priced headset that can track you very accurately. And I think that's okay. And if current technology moves at the pace it's moving at, the thing about the Santa Cruz headset is that it probably won't be for sale until at least 2019. And I'm going to be optimistic that by then, because developers are only going to get it next year, and it sounds like it's got a real long lead time. So I'm going to be optimistic that by the time this thing finally comes out, it's going to work well enough to be like, okay, I start to get it. This is a better way to do it. Does that make sense?
I think so. So when does the Oculus Go come out?
So the Go comes out
early next year.
Yes. Yeah. So you will be able to buy that next year, and that has a price point at $199.
Cool.
So, and that'll, you can see the resolution, and it doesn't have quite as accurate of tracking as the other one.
Right.
So, but I'm also excited about the Go. I think that'll be a good entry level device. I've never been a big fan of the strap your phone into a headset concept.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the custom lenses and the audio built into the headset and all the sort of things that come with having it built in. So I'm curious how well this will work at $199. To me, that's an attractive price.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the reviews and the like compared to like Gear VR or the Google thing where you got the face strap.
Yeah, and how much is Gear VR?
$129, and Google Daydream I think is also right in that between $129 and $99, a little over $100.
Yeah. If it doesn't have to be that much better, I don't think, for the 120 for it to make sense over the 129 priced one.
Well, I'm also curious, and this is something I don't know the answer to because I just don't know VR that well. But also, where is the software being developed? Like, I know Oculus is building VR stuff, like VR apps and VR games, like they're into VR, but like Samsung or Google with Android, how much VR stuff is there? That if I'm going to put money down into a community and an ecosystem, I'm going to go with Oculus because they are VR, not some strap-on edition for my cell phone.
Are there like that was a funny sentence out of context.
What?
A strap-on edition for your cell phone? I don't know.
That sounds like the best Kickstarter never funded.
I distracted myself. Oh God, what was I gonna say? No, are there like apps for the like consumer grade? I say consumer grade VR versus like the HTC Vives or Oculuses of the world that like people are into. Like, are there Samsung VR apps that are like wow, or Google Daydream apps that you would like buy? Is there one that you would get it for, or is it just like all novelty at this point?
I assume there are. I mean, I found a website that says 25 Samsung Gear VR apps that you'll enjoy, and there's a whole slideshow, and they have a bunch of games. So someone's developing something for it. I don't know if are there even like flagship? Oh, wait a second. I'm learning all kinds of things. Apparently, is Samsung VR a partner with Oculus? We really don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
think so.
I think so.
Is that the idea?
We've covered that on the show.
Oh, all right. So maybe they share some apps. I guess that's good. I don't know what Google's doing.
I mean, if it's all Android, maybe it all just works. Maybe not though.
Perhaps. That's a good question.
But alas.
Whatever. Hey, look, I'm going to wait for Windows Mixed Reality because that is the future. Sign me up. No, this is exciting. I'm very tempted to take the Oculus Go challenge.
Ooh.
You may suck me in for that one.
Oh man.
And
that would be exciting.
I'm going to break so much stuff in my condo. It's not even funny. I'm very
if my computer had worked, I could have taken the Oculus Rift challenge, but
yeah, damn.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Sorry.
Next time.
Brutal.
Cool. All right, so look forward to those coming out soon. Let's see how we're doing on time. We've got time for more news, gentlemen. What else is tickling your fancy? And while you're deciding, I want to take a second to thank. We've had great viewers all night on Facebook, facebook.com/Don't Panic Show, where we stream live Monday nights. I'd say 10:20, give or take. But if you like the page, you get notified when we go live. And while we're live, you can comment on the Facebook page, and we see it, and we talk about it sometimes. And you can call the phone number, 508-644-TECH. That's 508-644-8324. And you can talk with us on the show, comment on the stuff we're talking about. Maybe you use VR. Maybe you actually know how VR works. Because I'd be curious, like, what makes it go. So maybe you can tell us. I don't call in anytime. Guys, what's up? What are we talking about? My favorite part of the show is putting it on you. Be like, just tell me.
I have so many opinions today. This never happens. What is this TBH thing?
That's what.
Yeah.
Is that something I can use, or is it just for the kids?
We might download it and try it on the show right now because I'm kind of excited.
I'm downloading it right now.
Are you? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, come on.
I'll let you tell me about it.
Boo. It's no fun with two people.
Well, then, Dan, you have to do the recap of the story.
Okay.
So but before you get to that, I got a private message from a fan of ours who said, I don't know how VR works, but today I Googled how projectors make the color black. I'd like to know the answer, so I'm going to tell that friend. I'm not going to rat out their name because they messaged me privately. You should call into the phone number on your phone right now and tell us, because I want to know how projectors make black. That's really interesting. I think the audience would like to know as well. So call in 508-644-TECH. The number's there on the screen. Give us a call and tell us the answer. We'd appreciate that. But I won't rat that person out. That wouldn't be very nice. So I would love to know the answer. Anyway, yes, Dan, you were...
I was summarizing.
Oh, yes. Tell us all about it. I'm going to download it.
So I'm just going to stream of consciousness this because I've never done it before. TBH lets you send pre-written compliments to friends. A method aimed at preventing people from writing nasty comments and cyberbullying. What I'm curious about is, what does it mean to send a pre-written comment? Pre-written compliment. The app includes compliments like, who has the best smile? Who makes me laugh the hardest? To help teens feel more validated and positive. I see here. So it gives you a question like, who makes you laugh the hardest? And then gives you a multiple choice of friends of yours. Are you holding something up and showing us?
No,
Sean?
I'm saying I'm downloading it.
Oh, okay.
I'm setting it up.
Is this actually popular with teens? It seems like something that wouldn't be popular with teens at all.
Oh my god, the first quest. Oh, maybe we can't use it. The first question it asks you is what grade of high school or college you're in.
That's not what it asked me. The first thing it asked me was to upload all my contacts, and then I haven't gotten past
I totally did that. I'm
screen.
not in high school.
God damn it, Sean.
My first name's Sean, last name Jen. Oh, I'm totally giving it all. Oh, wait, that's what my social security number is? Why does it need to know that? Let's see. All right, set up a username. This is great. Oh god, they need my phone number? Wow. They need a lot of information.
Aggressive.
They are.
Wow, wait. This is fascinating. When you look for TBH on the App Store, its subtitle is "See Who Likes You," which is not at all what this, piece describes it as.
All right.
In select states, and it seems to list most states on there. So I'm curious which states it is not available in.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this is awful. It's pulling people from my contacts list who I know for a fact do not have this app. One of them is my grandmother. It says, really want to go hiking with them sometime, and one of them is my grandmother who's in my contacts. I'm going to choose her.
Yeah, it was just added to Alabama and Arizona 7 hours ago.
Oh, this fucking sucks.
What do you think the odds are that your Grandma Flo just got a text message from TBH?
But legitimately, I'm actually now very annoyed that, because I assumed they used my contact to be like, oh, Colby also has the app. No, they just loaded all my contacts. That's terrible. How can I delete this? Deactivate account. There we go. Wow, that did not last. Now I'll ask you guys. So anyway,
so glad I didn't.
We figured out how it works.
Content.
It is. Did you? I hope you didn't see in the article. Did you see how much Facebook paid for this?
No.
Oh,
how
right,
many Instagrams?
Don't look. You gotta take a guess. Now this app has never made $1.
I think
there aren't any clear usage numbers other than over 5 million people have downloaded the app so far, with over 1 billion messages since the app was launched in August. That's like 2 months ago. What is going on?
Billion messages. I think they jumped the gun on this one, frankly. I'm gonna say 0.5 Instagrams.
I'm gonna say 2 Instagrams.
How much was Instagram? 1 billion?
1 billion.
A cool billion.
So Dan says 2 billion, and Colby, you say half a billion.
Yeah, $500 million.
$100 million.
Oh, that's only 0.1 Instagram.
What a bargain.
Very reasonable.
It's so reasonable. It's not reasonable.
It's been around for 2 months and doesn't make any money. This is so weird.
I guess it would have. It feels messed up that I'm not even reacting. Like $100 million. Like, okay.
They find that as the couch cushions.
Right.
That's nothing.
Ah, gosh.
It's.
Now I want to know how it works, but I'm like, I refuse to. Like, I'm not gonna do. No, I'm not gonna let it have all my contacts.
No, my guess is the way it works is that it takes. If everyone uploads their contact, so when you also upload my contact, it connects us. Which I don't know. Again, I don't know why they wouldn't just use Facebook or something else to connect us, but whatever. Maybe they will now, I guess. And that way, when I send compliments, they automatically show up in your thing. So when I click, oh, Colby's really good at juggling, and then it'll say, oh, Sean said you're really good at juggling.
Now, real talk though, if this is actually popular with the kids, I think a solid way to ruin that is pulling in like their parents who they're friends with on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it would be popular with kids. It seems stupid and limited.
It just seems like I could see it like working for a little while, but it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that's going to stick around. I mean, it's not quite like Yo level, but
But then again, what is?
right. That's like bottom of the barrel or top of the pile maybe for novelty, depending on how you're ranking things.
So I just have to take a minute. So I clicked through to the iTunes listing for this app, and in the description they list some pull quotes from some magazines that said nice things about them. So here's some actual quotes from critics, okay? Tell me if this sounds like something you're interested in. New York Magazine said, quote, "While I hesitate to call any app woke, TBH is definitely in that neighborhood." BuzzFeed said, "If you're not on the TBH app, God, you're sad and old." Actual quotes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wowee. Now, I have a question about that. God, you're sad and old. Does that mean, am I sad because I'm not on the app, or am I just sad? Like, will being on the app make me less sad? Should I be on the app so I'm not sad anymore?
I mean, I know I feel really good when I upload all my private information to a random app I've never heard of before that turns out to be a total waste of time. So, in that respect, yeah.
I see.
Uh-huh.
You could be so much more fulfilled.
I did quickly want to mention we didn't get a phone call from our good buddy Phil. He said he's got lots of studying, so he didn't want to call in. But black is the absence of color, so they can't beam it out. It's actually not black. Turns out the human eyes are not that picky, and we see color relatively. So it looks black compared to the other colors being projected, but if you held a true black next to it, it would be a light grayish color.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you, Phil. Oh my gosh, that's...
Did you know that that's how cameras work too? That's how they sense color. If you take a camera and you take a camera and put it all the way up next to a yellow wall, it will, and so the only thing that's in frame is yellow, it will show up on the viewfinder as white. Because it has to infer what white is to do the auto white balancing. This is if your camera is set on full auto. Yeah. So it does that by just analyzing the image, and you can exploit that in certain ways.
That's neat.
Is anything real?
Nothing's real. What if my blue is different from your blue?
Oh no!
No joke. This is 100% true. Simply just based on the way I dress, my mother thinks I'm colorblind, and that's not even like a joke. Like, you must be colorblind. She's like, "No, Sean, have you been checked? Like, you might actually be colorblind." And I explain, "No, I just don't know how to dress myself."
Well,
Sean, I don't think I've ever had that thought about you.
I've done the
tests.
They have the tests.
That wedding this weekend.
They have the tests, and I'm not colorblind. I just don't know what colors go together. No one they don't teach that in schools anymore. Thanks, Obama.
Did Colby pick out your wedding outfit, Sean?
He helped me pick out my tie, and by help me, I mean I asked him, and he immediately went in the shower and left me to fend for myself. Can you believe that?
What actually happened? Sean was like, "I brought 5 ties to this wedding. I'm gonna need your help to pick this out." I went in the shower, and then he just never asked me for help.
Well, that was my way. Well, Colby and I, we had a bit of a spat. Don't worry about it. We both ended up looking fly as hell.
It's tough living with someone, right?
Oh, boy, yeah. This guy is a roommate? Forget about it. Why would anyone do that?
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Been there.
Done
there.
All right. Gosh darn it. Boy, do we have some laughs here on the program. Now, do you guys have picks?
I don't have a pick.
I don't have a pick. My pick was a warning. My pick was a cautionary tale. It was a fable, a foible, and a folly.
Are you going to put the Corsair people on blast now? Is this a thing?
I am putting them on blast.
Use every ounce of our star power to get them to.
Well, here's the thing. I did back over the summer, when this started. I tried the whole Twitter route when I wasn't able to get through the phone number. Their support account hasn't tweeted in months. No tweets at all. So.
Wow. A real fly-by-night company.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, do we want to? I mean, I have a pick, but.
Yeah, let's hear your pick. Let's hear your pick. Don't let us, our moroseness and, grumpiness. You spent some time in the South. You know how to be congenial. You know how to be happy, neighborly. Don't let us bring you down.
That's very nice of you to say, Dan. So I'm gonna pick a couple things because now I got the whole pick segment to myself. So I'm just gonna go nuts.
Right.
This is
Yeah,
I'm gonna go on a picks bender. This is fun. So I got two podcasts actually because you guys the last couple episodes we picked 80 podcasts. So I figured why not jump in the fun. And I have a couple bad movie podcasts. I don't know if you guys. I know there are many. These are the ones I like. Bad movie podcasts where they watch a bad movie and then they talk about said bad movie.
Oh, okay.
And I picked two. They're two really good ones, actually, and I listen to both. And what's great about each of them is each episode is about a single movie, so you can kind of pick and choose from the back catalog. You don't have to listen to they're very self-contained, which is great.
Uh-huh.
And these two are very different. The first is How Did This Get Made? Which what I like about it is it's hosted by actual famous people, comedians Paul Scheer and Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Raphael, who... they have those faces. They've been in everything. Paul Scheer, obviously the comedian. Jason Mantzoukas from The League and other things.
I've totally heard of all those people before.
Yeah, they're all funny people. They're all comedians. And they're on all the episodes, but they also have guests on. This latest one had Sarah Silverman and Taran Killam from Saturday Night Live as guests. And what I really like, it's a very funny show. They do a lot of the episodes live. But what I like about this one is that they don't focus as much on the plot of the movie, just more about the craziest elements of the movie, which contrasts well with my other pick, which is The Flophouse, which is a Maximum Fun. Yes, it's a Maximum Fun show. So if you've listened to their other shows, they cross-promote a lot. And this is hosted by three gentlemen, Dan, Elliot, and Stuart, two of whom used to be writers for The Daily Show. So they're also kind of in Hollywood. They're all comedians, very funny. What's great about this show is they go very detailed. They go through the entire plot of the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, they do a really good job of getting you through the plot and understanding the movie without having seen it. Also a lot of kind of irreverent comments and throughout. Also very good. So I'm going to pick both. You can pick and choose the episodes. I will say The Flophouse, a great starter episode, Food Fight. That's a very funny one. I want to actually see that movie because it's bananas. And the latest How This Get Made, Virtuosity, was also very good. So you can check both those out. They're both full now. The Flophouse and How Did This Get Made, two really good bad movie podcasts. Easy to pick up and listen to at any time if you need some podcast filler in your Overcast. And
So do you listen to the movies before you watch these?
Almost never. So sometimes
watch.
Yeah, sometimes they're movies I have just seen. Like they I'm trying to think of an example. There aren't many. Sometimes I've seen them, but for the most part, no. And I still find them because it's just the people are really entertaining. Like I said, The Flophouse does a really good job of recapping the movie to the point where you feel like you've seen it after them doing it. How Did This Get Made doesn't do quite as good of a job, but I never found that a stumble just because you can imagine it's almost more fun to imagine the crazy things they're talking about versus actually seeing the movie. And actually, I'll pick a third podcast, Coffee and Beer Radio, which is still streaming 4 days a week at anchor.fm/coffee and beer or wherever you get your podcast, search Coffee and Beer. We just did Movie Monday today and with... what was it? What was the movie that the birthday movie where the girl gets killed over and over and she has to solve her own murder? Happy Death Day was #1 at the box office this past weekend. And starting next Monday, we'll have updates from the Winter Movie League. So you're going to want to subscribe and check that out as well.
Ooh.
Yep. So... there you go. And hell, you know what? We've still got time in picks because you guys took the night off, so I'm going to keep going. The Game Nights is coming back. We have a brand new D&D quest led and designed by none other than our own Colby Rabidou. He is our new Dungeon Master. We just recorded the first episode yesterday. Should be coming out later this week on the feed. He did an excellent job. We had a lot of fun. I made reckless decisions. It was great. Anything you'd like to say about it, Colby?
I think it's gonna get better. Like we're
what a glowing endorsement.
Just getting started. Again, I don't know. Like the three of you are wild cards. Like if you did exactly what I thought you would do, I think, or if you do exactly what I hope that you'll do, it could be super interesting. And I don't even hope that you'll do exactly one thing. There are options.
Multiple hopes.
What my fear is that you won't do any of those things.
Right. We'll break in the proverbial do not enter door.
Right. So I'm trying really hard for there not to be a do not enter door. But at some point there is, right? Because like technically you're in a world, so you could just go. You could choose to go anywhere, even though there are places that sort of don't exist. You did try and do that when you tried to go back to the Starfeld Industries office. That was a place that doesn't exist in my conception of the world, anyways. Not to say that you should.
Fun.
I know. Not to say that you should.
You have to come up with. So you know that your task is to come up with the description of our headquarters.
Yeah, maybe.
We're gonna go back.
I kind of want it to be like the Avengers headquarters in the movie, like the big tower with the A, except it's gonna be a big S with a star fell on it, something like that.
Yeah, I like it.
It was a lot of fun. So GameNights.tv is where you can get that and subscribe because we'll have a bunch more coming out as we continue on with this adventure. That'll be a lot of fun. And I might as well plug Up for Debate at upfordebate.tv where we'll have a new episode this week. We're taping it Wednesday. And then on Sunday, we're taping the draft for the 2017 Winter Movie League. We're going to have teams for the first time this time. We're going to blow it out. It's going to be awesome. And so you subscribe, get that episode in 2 weeks when it gets published. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes? Picks complete?
I think so.
Complete. Well done, everyone.
Picks complete.
Yeah. That's my pick. Game Nights is my pick because I'm the master.
Yeah, boy, are you. And so that is, and that's the end of this episode. So now I have to pick our own show. Don'tPanic.io is our website. Go there for all the information on all of the past episodes. The picks, of course, will have the links and where you can subscribe anywhere you get podcasts, including Overcast and Apple Podcasts. Video version on YouTube, and you can follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter and Facebook.com/Don't Panic Show, where we do the show live Monday nights at about 10:15, 10:20 Eastern. And although we'll do another. When's daylight savings time? That's not next weekend, right? That's not till November. No, we got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it on my calendar.
It's very my body's very confused, more than normal.
I know. Womp womp.
I know, getting cold, getting late. But hey, we're always a bright spot, so continue to join us every week here on Don't Panic. We'll be back next Monday with more tech news, but that's going to do it for tonight. So on behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for more tech news and good times here on Don't Panic.